Welcome to Discover Indie Film. I'm your host, Jeff Howard, and I have Tobit Raphael Capati with me.
Hi.
Hey, he is on FaceTime right now because, for various reasons, but FaceTime is perfectly acceptable for podcast interviews now. That was one of the gifts of the pandemic is, well, I used to record them on Skype if people were in Europe, but we don't have to be in the same room anymore, which is kind of cool. And I am talking to Tobit. We just did an interview. You should listen to the podcast episode before this one, and you'll learn all about him and his wonderful film, Sexpert Advice, which won 3 awards at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival in 2019, including Outstanding Short Film. So I highly recommend you watch this film on the Discover Indie Film TV series, which if you go to Prime Video and go to Season 4, Episode 1, search for Discover Indie Film. It would help to search for Discover Indie Film first before you go to Season 4. Don't go to Season 4 of like Doctor Who. Go to Season 4 of Discover Indie Film and just watch Sexpert Advice. It's hilarious. It's wonderful. It's heartwarming. Great film. And in this podcast episode, we're going to find out Tobit's inspirations. And I'm looking forward to it. He's going to answer the Discover Indie Film 4 questions, which are favorite films of all time, underrated film, an overrated film, and a lesser-known film that people should seek out.
Okay.
And feel free, jump right in.
All right, so I will admit I had to put a lot of time into it, but you also mentioned that that's part of the deal, too. People have to think about these things because it's not easy for me to pick a favorite. I say I have a favorite ice cream flavor, and that's pretty much it. I love a lot of films. I love a lot of things about different things that I see. But I think I narrowed it down to 3 films that I watch a lot, value a lot, and am inspired by a lot. The first favorite of mine is Pan's Labyrinth, Guillermo del Toro. I love a dark fantasy children's tale. I think the physical acting and the production design elements, the score, the story are just gorgeous. It's what I aspire to as a creative who loves fantasy and fiction and things that blend the lines of reality. I actually think maybe someone suggested that even the Sydney character in Sexpert Advice might be not real, too. So I think that could be a fun way of interpreting the film.
So there could be some magical realism in your film.
Actually, a lot of my writing, I am playing with magical realism right now. So
wonderful! I love that genre. I love that.
Yeah. My other favorite films: the second one, Finding Nemo, Pixar. I know that this film is used a lot as inspiration for just writing and it being pointed to as a great script and a great piece of storytelling, and that's a lot of why I love it. But also because of the comedy, like how they made Fish funny, how they found different ways to take things from the ocean and let's make a school of fish turn into different shapes and let's make turtles surfers, and I love the journey aspect of it, and I love how they make us care about something that would probably die in a tank in 3 days.
For sure. It is so funny. Funny.
And so much heart.
Yeah.
So much heart in that movie. When you really strip it down, it's a father's love for his son, and who wouldn't cry over that? And then my third favorite film is Mean Girls. I am a millennial, so I was a high schooler at this time, and to see a movie that kind of captured my high school experience in a really sharp way. There's a lot of cultural things that have just kind of grown up with me and my generation with Mean Girls. I love Tina Fey's writing. I love her comedy. I love how it also kind of blends that, it's not just like it kind of blurs the lines of reality a little bit too, because there's a lot of cutaways, and then there's a lot of kind of exaggerated sequences of them walking in slow motion or things like that. And I aspire for that sharpness and the brevity of Tina Fey's wit.
Absolutely. That's a great film. It's funny because you were the generation of the people in the film. I'm Tina Fey's generation.
Yeah.
So actually, when I saw it in theaters when it came out, I loved it. And of course, I identified with the teacher. She and Tim Meadows are like,
oh my God,
like
they're
my
so
people.
good.
They're so good. Yeah. But all the students are great too. Yeah, it's a great film and such a creative. By the way, I love all three of your picks. They're all wonderful films. And yeah, Mean Girls, because she took of a nonfiction book.
Yeah.
The Queen Bees and Wannabes. Mm-hmm. And then she turned it into this cultural moment.
I mean, such a great lesson to be learned that stories don't just come out of a void, you know? You model them around something. And I love that she was able to see plot points in what she read. And yeah, what she created is just, it's a great story.
Absolutely.
It has a good character's journey.
Absolutely. Well, before I let you answer underrated,
Okay.
what is your favorite ice cream? You mentioned you had a favorite ice cream flavor before you launched in.
Yes, this is easy. Rocky Road.
Rocky Road.
I love Dryers has a good Rocky Road. Haagen-Dazs has a good Rocky Road flavor. I just love crunch marshmallow chocolate. I'm not a big chocolate person, but that's Rocky Road favorite.
Throw in the Rocky. Excellent. All right. Now we got that. Now you can jump into something that's underrated.
Okay. So I have a hard time with underrated because I was like, that's kind of like lesser known, but I will say that just this year I saw an amazing horror film from, I believe it's a British production. It's called His House. It's streaming on Netflix. It's a horror film that takes the haunted house trope, but it centers around refugees from Africa and their experience as outsiders in England, in their own home, as refugees. And there's a lot of haunting elements to it, and it has an amazing the idea, just that I don't want to spoil anything.
Right. But it's a horror film with intelligence and thinking and heart and
so, especially with current events, with what's happening in the Middle East, the idea of replacement, resettling as a refugee, and that as a horror genre in and of itself, I just think is a must watch for anybody.
Great. How does it do on the jump scares?
Watch with somebody if you're too scared of horror. I will say it's not too much on gore or bloodiness, but I think the impact of the film makes up for any kind of nerves that I think you'll be thinking about its central core more than you would about anything jumping and scaring.
Well, I add that question was specifically for the 14-year-old female that I watch horror films with, because if there's not enough jump scares for her, she gets she pulls out her phone and starts texting friends. So
I will say there are jump scares in it.
Excellent. So it's got everything, which is great.
Yeah, no comedy. Maybe just like one or two jokes sprinkled out.
Yeah.
You just have to have those peaks and valleys.
I love when a horror film is funny too, but the relief of it. All right, well now.
I also wanted to share that it has great acting performances. I know that in our longer conversation, we talked about the power of acting in filmmaking, and one of the stars is a lead actor on Lovecraft Country, the sister character, and it's the actress who plays the sister that sings. She's amazing in this film. Amazing. Oh,
she was amazing in that series. I love that series.
I'm inspired by actors, really. I love acting.
Yeah, it always seems unfair when something's out of England because
they have everything.
It's not fair. They act with a British accent, and it's hard for us to even recognize bad acting in a British accent.
I think they're also okay with like more human looking thing. They're okay with people looking like people on the street and They value. I think the average person values like a good acting performance more often. There,
it's the land of Shakespeare, right? They feel that drama is their thing.
Yeah.
All right. Well, how about Overrated?
Okay.
And if you need me to say it, I'll add that it's not an insult. You're not throwing shade at a film. That you could say, I love this film. This is a very good film. It's a great film.
Yeah.
But people give it way too much. Maybe people are overrating it, is what I mean.
Okay. Well, I chose this film because I know it was a big film, especially at its time a couple years ago. It had a lot of press around it. And then after being on the other side of watching it, I left with just such an unsatisfied feeling. But it was Joker, a Joker film with Joaquin Phoenix a couple of years ago. I just think as far as like a character study into a person's descent into madness or violence. I just thought it didn't have the right flow for me, and I think it was very hard for me to relate to. I think that some people kind of point to that as emblematic of toxic masculinity, of men shooting, having gun violence out here, gun incidents in America. But I really thought that it was trying to be something else.
I'm with you 100%. Look, if it had gotten no praise, I might have called it underrated because it got a huge amount of praise. It got nominated for Best Picture.
I think so.
I think it did. And I mean, I think so. Joaquin Phoenix gives a transcendent performance in a film that's not worthy of that performance, I think.
Yeah.
So people just look at his performance and go, that's an Oscar film. But,
and I think the elements outside of it, are kind of cool, like I love the makeup and the costumes and, especially, his sequence going down those stairs, it has become iconic now. But, I think on its whole, I wanted more out of it.
I agree. And, agreed. There, a very good film, but overrated.
Yeah, for me.
and for me too. I got your back. Okay. All right. And then the last one is a lesser known that people should seek out.
Yeah, I actually chose a short film, and I chose a short film that you can find on YouTube, but it's called Save Ralph. This is a stop-motion animation. I think it's out of Australia, but it definitely is voiced by Taika Waititi. And it's funny. It's interesting. It's about a bunny with a job. I'll just say that. And it has such a gut punch on. I don't want to ruin anything. It just has a gut punch. It's very effective filmmaking. Very effective at comedy. Very effective at animation. And really good at showing us how to use filmmaking for a message. How to use filmmaking as an emotional impact. And how that it can be more effective than just showing someone a report or reading someone facts. Did Taika Waititi write it as well? I think I looked it up. It's a different writer-director, but Taika Waititi voiced it. So.
I have a massive crush on him. I think he's kind of perfect.
I was also going to put Hunt for the Wilder People in my favorite films, but I just keep watching it. Like I keep going back. I just keep rewatching scenes over and over that I have only seen the beginning, the end once, and then kind of glazed over it too. Because I just love so many of the scenes. That I can't finish.
I'm glad you mentioned it because not everyone. I also think that might be one that people should seek out because a lot of people I talk to haven't seen it. Even people who love Jojo Rabbit and What We Do in the Shadows. I mean, I love both films. Yeah, and they scratch very different itches. Yeah. But the fact that the same human is writing and directing these things. I just think that I'm so grateful that he exists.
Yeah. Definitely an inspiration for me as a person who comes from comedy and humor. As a person who, my family comes from an island in the Pacific. So there's a lot to relate to there, and I think he has a lot to learn from as a filmmaker. Just what he brought to Thor Ragnarok with comedy, I thought was just so heartwarming.
Absolutely. Okay, I'm going to watch that almost immediately. I'll add for anyone listening, I Googled it, and I believe it's Save Ralph.
Oh, Save Ralph. Okay,
Save Ralph. Does that sound right? Save Ralph, a short film with Taika Waititi on YouTube. I just found it. So
it's a short. I recommend you watch it right after this because it's fantastic. Share it with anybody. I will say that it caused me to change behavior in life.
Okay, wonderful. Yeah. Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, well, anything else you want to throw in at the end here? I guess we finished your 4 questions.
I mean, I know we don't talk about TV here, but one of my favorite TV shows is RuPaul's Drag Race. I mean, just the level of artistry and creativity coming from the drag scene right now is unreal. If I could just also throw in another recommendation on Hulu, Jinx Monsoon and Ben de la Creme's Holiday Special, or it might be Ben de la Creme and Jinx Monsoon's Holiday Special. But that is a masterful piece of entertainment.
Okay, wait, say it again because I haven't seen it.
Yeah, let me...
Because I'm a big Hulu fan. There's so much good material. I loved Rami on Hulu. If people haven't watched Rami.
I'm a fan so much. Yes, it's called the Jinx and Dela Holiday Special. JINKX and DELA Holiday Special. A lot of really, really classic, old school comedy, like just little ways of doing entertainment, there's song, there's dance. It's fantastic.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Thank you. We're always allowed to talk TV. I mean, it's really entertainment. In fact, we just added the category web series to the Sherman Oaks Film Festival because there were so many people sending in emails saying, do I submit my web series as a short? And we would always say, for 2 years, the answer was always, yeah, if it's a funny web series, submit as comedy short. If it's a serious web series, submit it as drama. And I don't know, somebody said, why don't we just add web series as a category?
And if there's enough out there,
We got some really cool stuff. Cool stuff.
Yeah.
All right. Tobit, thank you so much.
Thank you, Jeff. It was good to see you. Good to talk to you.
It was great to see you. We are looking at each other on computer screens. And now the sun went down, so I think you can probably barely see. It got dark in here. But do you want to tell people quickly your ats so that we can...
Yes, you can reach me at Twitter at TobrafCap, TOBRAPHCAP. Also the same handle on Instagram at TobrafCap. I have a website, www.tobrafcap.com. You can look at some of my other works there and contact me as well. If you want my address or security number, Social Security DM me. I don't know.
Exactly. If someone wants to steal your identity.
Yeah. I just found a copy of my birth certificate. So, feel free to reach me. I promise I'll say hi.
Excellent. All right. And now I will share all the info I need to share, which is, first of all, thanks for listening to this podcast. Give this podcast 5 stars. What is it? Subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, and subscribe, please. And give 5 stars. And I believe in the intro, I mentioned that Tobit's film, Sexpert Advice, is on the Discovery Indie Film TV series on Amazon Prime Video. Please watch that. It's season 4, episode 1, and please give season 4 5 stars. And while you're giving out stars, give seasons 1, 2, and 3 5 stars, because oddly enough, Prime keeps the season separate as far as reviews. It seems like you should just review a whole series. I ain't running the world.
Dystopia.
It's crazy. And there was an amazing TV series called Dystopia.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, anyway.
We're living in dystopia.
We are. So as far as the ads, Tobit's ads, but this TV series and this podcast that accompanies it is Discover Indie Film, and you can learn more at discoverindiefilm.com. And on social media, it's at DIFWins, WINS. And Sexpert Advice played at the Sherman Oaks Film Festival. That's how I met Tobit. And the Sherman Oaks Film Festival is every November, and you can learn more at ShermanOaksFF.com, and it's at ShermanOaksFF on social media. And there is a sister festival in June, so it spreads it out through the year. In June, we have Film Invasion Los Angeles, which you can learn about, FilmInvasionLA.com, and it's at Film Invasion LA on social media. And I have completed the spiel.
Wonderful.
And thank you, Tobit.
You're welcome.
It was a pleasure to talk to you. Thank you for the good recommendations. I'm going to go watch Save Ralph.
Oh, yes.
Almost immediately.
Yes.
And thank you to everyone who listened.
Thank you. Take care.